Recording. So I hope you have the book with you, Creative Transformation. Today we are starting with this book. Of course, as we start, let me acknowledge that all the teachings come from teacher Master Chokoksui. I am only trying to मेरी प्रयास है कि मैं इसको थोड़ा डेप्थ में जाके समझ सकूं. Try to unpack the depth. The teachings are very deep. Try to unpack, and you know my limitations are my limitations. So please be a little tolerant. And just a reminder, these are 7 books, the Golden Lotus Sutras, and we are now on the second book. If you did not attend the first book study, the recordings are available. Please feel free to access them. Yeah, and these are words of Master Choa. So it's always a good idea that before we begin, you maybe scan your spiritual cord, maybe scan your aura for spiritual energy, maybe scan your crown chakra. And when our session ends, you can again do that, right? All right, so let's skip the first few pages and come directly to the first heading. This is, I think, page number 1. Although page number is not written there, there is a heading there which says spirituality. And then there is a sutra. It says spirituality is a way of life. It is not just doing meditation. The word spirituality, what does it mean? इस शब्द का मतलब क्या है? So one way of getting to the meaning of a word is to say what it is not. So it is not religion, है ना? Spirituality और religion में फर्क है. If you remember existence of God is self-evident book में मास्टर ने शुरू में I think page 11, 12, 13 something like that, he has explained this. He has discussed this, that there is a difference between spirituality and religion, right? And one big difference is that religion is all about rituals and symbols, things like that. Spirituality, not so much. It tries to go behind the symbols, behind the rituals. उनके पीछे जाने जाके उनका जो मीनिंग है, जो उनका पर्पस है, उनका उद्देश्य है, उसको समझने की कोशिश करता है. So let's try to understand spirituality. What does it actually mean? So spirituality derives from the word spirit. Spirit. अब spirit का क्या मतलब है? What does the word spirit mean? So in Christianity, the Holy Spirit, it refers to Supreme God. In some other context, it is also used to mean the soul. So you can say spirituality is related to the soul, related to God. Something like that. Also, spirituality, when we say the spirit, we are distinguishing from the physical aspects. जो फिजिकल एस्पेक्ट्स होते हैं उससे हम एक दूसरी विपरीत कॉन्ट्ररी ऑपोजिट या सो material reality and spiritual reality, two complementing opposites. They are completely different, but one doesn't make sense without the other. So sometimes we also say the energetic aspect of life. There is the physical aspect of life, then you say the non-physical, non-material, or a simpler word, the energetic aspect of life. So spirituality deals with that. All right. So I would suggest give this more thought. इस पे थोड़ा सा और चिंतन कीजिए, थोड़ा और मनन कीजिए कि spirituality से मतलब क्या है? What does it actually mean? Right? Okay, so now let's give attention to the sutra. Spirituality is a way of life. It is not just doing meditation. So another thing about the word spirituality, it describes the goal and it also describes the practice. So we talk about spiritual practice helping us attain spirituality. राइट. सो मास्टर यहाँ पे क्या समझा रहे हैं कि इट इज नॉट लिमिटेड टू द प्रैक्टिस. So in the practice, you do purification, you do meditation, this, that, and so on. But spirituality has to become a way of life. It is not distinct. ऐसा नहीं है कि जीवन तो अलग चल रहा है और आपकी स्पिरिचुअलिटी, सो स्पिरिचुअलिटी के लिए आई थिंक द हिंदी वर्ड इज आध्यात्मिकता. तो जीवन अलग चल रहा है, आध्यात्मिकता अलग चल रही है. ये दिस इज व्हाट मास्टर इज सेइंग. Not like this. They have to be integrated. Or otherwise, you remember एक शब्द है जो which we learnt in basic pranic healing, interpenetrate. So our spirituality must interpenetrate our day-to-day life, right? And of course, the practice, spiritual practices are important because that is how our awareness, our knowledge, and so on, starts happening. Our growth starts happening. But what is also important is that all aspects of spirituality, all aspects of spiritual practice must be incorporated in every aspect of our lives, whether it is our relationships, whether it is our health, whether it is our work, whether it is our business, whether it is how we earn money. They have all got to be integrated with the spiritual aspect. Just to give you an example, when for most of us, spiritual path means the erratic yoga path, correct? तो उसमें pillar 1, what is pillar 1? Pillar 1 is devotion to Supreme God and reverence for the spiritual teacher. Now, does this interpenetrate my life? When I do something important, do I first invoke for God? What is my awareness of God, of divinity, of myself as the soul in every action of my life? And you may think, अरे ऐसे थोड़ी हो सकता है, this is not possible, this is not practical. When you are doing business, how can it be? I can give you a live example. And I would really request all of you, all of us, that we should take the time out and visit these people. There is an organization called Apna Ghar. They have a center in Jaipur, and then they have a center just outside Jaipur in Bassi. And they have, I think, about 40, 50 centers all over India. They incorporate pillar 1 in every aspect of their work. For example, they have a material need. They don't go and call people and call them and say, oh, we need this, can you help us? No. What they do is they have a board. They say, this is our request to Lord Krishna. They will write it on the board. For example, they are about to run out of toothpaste. Maybe 150 inmates are in their hostel. Now they need 150 toothpaste. What will they do? They will just write a request to Lord Krishna on a board which is kept in their office. And they have full faith that Lord Krishna will take care of their needs. And in 99% of the times, it will just happen. Somebody will call up and say, I would like to help. How can I help? And they will read out from that board. And that person will say, okay, I will sponsor this. I mean, they are a non-profit organization, non-business organization. All their money comes from donations. So they will find a donor in minutes. Now, if they don't find a donor, this is the test of their pillar 1. What do they think? They believe that they are not entitled. उनकी सेवा में कुछ कमी रह गई है. So they become even more devoted, even more dedicated in their work. Are you understanding? So this is, this is a true live example of spirituality being a way of life. You see, otherwise spirituality is not much use. if our life does not change, if our life does not become more spiritual, I'm sorry, our spirituality is only for getting nice certificates and putting them on the board. All right, let's move on. We are on page 3 now, Sutra number 1. You have to practice the spiritual teachings and have the will to follow it. When Master says will to follow it, I think he's saying follow it in your life or in our lives. You know, it's like a continuation of the previous sutra. So here an important tip is given by Master that will is essential. You know, your will, your inner power, your inner will, that is very important. Otherwise, possibility is that life will not change. You will do your spiritual practices, you will do your meditation, you will do everything, but that is limited. Your spiritual growth will be limited to that 1 hour, 2 hours of practice. Your life is not changed. And you see, how you will see that is that instead of your consciousness rising, it will remain stuck in the body, the senses, the mind, and so on. See, in general, and this we have talked many times in the previous book study when we did the first Golden Lotus Sutra, the compassionate objectivity, there is a formula for changing ourselves. That formula has two components. Component number 1 is awareness. Component number 2 is will. You know, like we do the inner reflection, firm resolution practice. Let's take the example of, you know, I have a tendency to make excuses. I reach places late. Supposing I'm supposed to reach someplace at 10, I will reach at 10:15, and then I will make a nice excuse. Some nice excuse. So many nice excuses. बड़ी अच्छी अच्छी excuses बनाई जा सकती हैं. I will make some nice excuse. But if I have awareness and if I have will, I will stop myself. That is the practice of inner reflection. I will say, no, 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 I'm not going to do this any longer. I will apologize. And you see, when I will apologize, more chances next time I will not be late. I will make an effort. Instead of 15 minutes past 10, I will be there 10 minutes before 10. Yeah. Why? Because awareness and more important, will. Otherwise, the same situations will keep happening. Our behavior will not change. Our life will not change. ठीक है जी, आगे चलें. Let's move to the next sutra. By the way, I'm trying to remember that I have to speak in English and Hindi both. अगर मेरे से चूक रह जाए, if I forget, may I suggest just do a thumbs up or a thumbs down or something, so I will repeat. Yeah? Okay, Sutra number 2. People on the spiritual path are not anemic. Anemic, you understand? Lack of blood. You know, when you have, or rather, you know, in blood your hemoglobin count is less, then I think it's called anemia. I think, but it's something to do with blood and lack of strength, lack of you know, with weakness, passiveness, and so on. So Master is saying people on the spiritual path, that means all of us, are not anemic. They must be sharp, strong, and courageous. Being spiritual means being powerful, dynamic, and intelligent. तो आई होप ये शब्द जितने यूज किए मास्टर ने, जितने एडजेक्टिव्स यूज किए हैं, ये सब आप समझ पा रहे हैं. शार्प, स्ट्रॉन्ग, करेजियस, powerful, dynamic, intelligent. If this one of any word you find difficult, please just type and I will explain it. So ये देखिए, as since we are all pranic healers, हम इसको मान सकते हैं lack of energy. You know what master is talking of anemia, lack of blood. In our terms, it's like lack of energy. So it shows up as no vigor. Vigor समझ रहे? जोश, जोश नहीं है, courage नहीं है, हिम्मत बहुत जल्दी हार जाते हैं. There is no will, there is no persistence. So what master is saying is people like us, we need to have clean and strong emotional body, mental body, strong and healthy physical body. You know, uh, just when I had got into pranic healing, there was an interview of Master Choa in some magazine. I am forgetting the name of the magazine, but I have a copy of that. So I will try to scan that copy and I will make it available on our Pranic Healing Society website. So if you are interested, you can access that. I will put the link on our group. So, you can read it from there. It's very interesting. Master has given a very important definition of good health, which applies at physical, emotional, mental, all levels. So instead of talking about it, it is better you read it yourself. So I will make it available, and please do go through it. And feel free to pass it on to more people also. It might take 2-3 days, by the way, for scanning and uploading and so on. You see, there is also a little history to this. The history is that, the spiritual path, one word for that is yoga. है ना? So, if you go into the history, you will see that, remember Gita. Arjun is standing on the battlefield and he is confused. Should I fight or should I not fight? And Lord Krishna tells him, you have to fight, practice yoga. And Arjun is confused. You are saying I should act and I should practice yoga? Because in that time, the belief was that yoga meant going to a cave, going away from society, living in, किसी आश्रम में या कहीं पे किसी गुफा में जाके रहो, दुनिया से अलग हो जाओ. So Lord Krishna then tells him, no, there is another yoga which has got lost and I have come to restore that. And then he gives the teachings of Karma Yoga, action in the world yoga. So I hope you are able to see two types of yoga. There is the yoga which says, leave the society, leave the world, go and live in the jungle. Bas meditation karo, apni, the 8 limbs, yama, niyama, pranayam, asana, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. But that requires you to detach from the world. It is the non-action yoga, inaction yoga. And then Lord Krishna gives us the yoga which is related to being active, being in work, being engaged, which is also called karma yoga. So, some schools or some spiritual schools, there you will see that people are actually anemic because they are from that jungle yoga, inaction yoga. They are following that path. They are not following the karma yoga path. Okay, I see that our time is up today. I'm afraid not much we were able to cover. Anyway, we'll try to make up in future.